Hello and welcome to Indieality. Today I'm going to talk about the best indie games released in February 2023. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Enjoy! Eldorand is a classic Metroidvania with a huge and beautiful world to explore. Other than aesthetically pleasing visuals, the game also offers a real challenge. Your first fights with some more fearsome opponents might seem brutal and unfair, but as you level up your character and collect new equipment, you slowly become ready to face even stronger enemies. Your opponents will respawn every time you re-enter a location, which allows you to farm some bonus XP before you move on to more difficult areas of the game. The game reminds me of Hollow Knight, but is a bit more clunky. The combat is quite satisfying, but there's definitely some room for improvement, especially in terms of the main character's movement. One thing that deserves to be noticed is the design of our enemies. Instead of using some classic monsters we all know from other games, the developers created some really unique looking creatures, which is always appreciated. Gameplay wise, I can't say a bad word about Eldorand. The progression system feels very rewarding and encourages us to explore the map and fight more enemies to become even stronger. It feels so awesome when you return to an opponent who previously killed you many times and get your revenge using your newly gained powers and equipment. I really enjoyed learning the moveset of each enemy to learn how to defeat them without taking a hit. Overall, Eldorand is a well-designed action platformer which is definitely worth recommending to all Metroidvania fans and to those who never played this genre before. Dungeons of Aether is a turn-based dungeon crawler which introduced a never-seen-before combat system based on dice. First thing I have to mention is the unbelievably beautiful pixel art that by itself made me fall in love with the game. I can say quite confidently that the game has one of the prettiest pixel art graphics I've seen so far. Gameplay-wise, there is a city which is our main hub from which we set out on our adventures and then come back to it after each run to prepare for our next journey. Once we leave our home, we find ourselves in a dungeon that we explore by moving our character from one room to one of the adjoining ones. In said rooms, we will encounter enemies, chests, puzzles, and even some notes with the game's lore. One of the game's greatest mechanics is the combat. At the beginning of each turn, 6 dice are rolled and then you and your opponent pick the dice one by one, choosing the ones you need the most. The dice come in 4 colors, each of which corresponds to a different stat. There is attack, defense, accuracy, and speed. Each of these stats can be crucial on our way to victory. All of that combined with the jaw-dropping pixel art which I couldn't stop admiring gives us a wonderful game to sink countless hours in. Brave's Rage is a roguelite deck builder with a very original combat system. Judging by the cute graphics, you might expect the game to be quite simple and easy, but that's not the case here. The game contains a lot of unique mechanics you need to master if you want to consistently win your runs. I was really impressed with the fast-paced, real-time combat that requires you to play your cards in the right moment. For example, if you play your block card right before the enemy lands his attack on you, you gain a bonus depending on your character's unique abilities. If you attack an enemy when he's turned away from you, you trigger a backstab bonus. There are many other mechanics like this that I leave for you to discover by yourselves. During each run, other than battles, you're going to encounter many different events which will allow you to heal, gain new cards, remove unwanted cards, find new accessories, and much more. After finishing your run, you unlock new cards and characters which expand your possibilities for the future attempts. Even if you manage to win your first run, you will quickly realize that it was just an introduction to the game, as there are 20 difficulty levels that you need to unlock one by one by winning on the highest available difficulty. This system is well known to Slay the Spire fans due to its similarity to Ascensions in the mentioned game. With 9 available characters in the game, there's a lot to discover, so if you're ready for a challenge, give Brave's Rage a try. Tales the Backbone Prelude is a story-driven adventure game for those who like to read a lot. During the game, we discover the stories of 4 characters and help them make the right decisions in the critical moments of their lives. Unlike in some other games of this genre, here we need to pay attention to every little detail and think about each decision we make. I would even say it is worth to make some notes while playing whenever we notice any information that might be useful in the future. The game very quickly shows us that each decision matters and will have consequences in the future. One of the first things you notice is the eye-catching art style, which is an absolute pleasure to watch. Though the game's most important aspect is the story, and it luckily does not disappoint us in this matter. The writing is excellent and each character has their own personality, which we can also develop by choosing the right dialogue options. Before you pick up the game, be aware that it contains an enormous amount of text that you need to read carefully. Skipping dialogues is absolutely not an option here. For that reason, the game could be perfect for people who love books, as it is almost like a book that you can interact with. Sons of the Forest is a sequel to the well-known survival game The Forest, which is an absolute must-play in the survival genre. In my opinion, this is what a perfect sequel should look like. Every step you take makes you feel like you're playing an improved version of The Forest. The most noticeable difference is the fact that this time we have a companion named Kelvin who immediately became the game's brightest star and stole players' hearts. As an aftermath of our helicopter's crash, Kelvin lost his ability to speak and hear, so we communicate with him by writing our commands in a notebook and showing them to him. He's always ready and happy to help us, but he doesn't always do exactly what we told him to, which often results in unexpected scenarios that add a lot of charm to the game. Even if he destroys our house, it is just impossible to be mad at him because of how adorable he is. This time we also have a GPS with a map with important places to visit pinpointed on it, which makes exploring the island much easier and more intuitive than in the first game. Our goal is to find a missing billionaire on a cannibal-infested island, similar to the prequel where we've been looking for our son. Sons of the Forest might easily become one of the greatest survival games ever released, so keep your eye on it until its full release or simply play it now during the early access, as the game is already worth every penny.